afternoon. Today is Sunday, August the 20th at 12:54 in the afternoon. Hope you guys have had a good weekend. I've got 2 yards to do from Friday. I contacted both yards and asked if they got pushed to this weekend, and they didn't mind. Had some stuff going on Friday and Saturday that, nothing wrong, just swamped and didn't get time to do the yards. I only do 2 on Fridays anyways. Throw in a water bottle. So today we're going to do those 2 yards, but also something a little bit more exciting. I actually had a bank contact me, a local bank. They want a quote for service. The provider that they have right now is a holdover from when the bank was owned by somebody else. So it was an older bank. It got bought by this new bank. This new bank kept the old lawn care people on. I guess at this point they're just trying to get some quotes for some other proposals. So we're going to go do that today. So one question I see come up a lot, and one question that I have is, how do you bid commercial properties? And generally the consensus I've seen is you've either got people who are helpful. I shot an email to Brian at Brian's Lawn Maintenance and asked him for advice, and he says, shoot me some pictures and I'll do the best I can. So you get people who will try and help you. Then you'll get other people who just say, if you're asking what to bid, you just need to close up shop. You're worthless. Those are kind of the two extremes. People either try and help you, or they'll just say you're the dumbest person in the world for asking. I've never understood that. If people are asking for help, you don't have to be. That's a discussion for another day. So anyways, this video is mainly going to be me doing my process for what I'm going to do to bid commercial, and I'm not trying to pass myself off as an expert bidding commercial properties. This will be my first one. But it all boils down to how much time is it going to take, and how much money do I want for my time after all the expenses are accounted for. Now, as far as how long is it going to take, well, that's what I'm going to find out today. So the mowing, I can pretty much estimate based on the amount of green space it has on yard books. So that's 1.3 acres, and I know that my mower is advertised to do 1.89 hours per acre. That's going full tilt, so I know it's not going to be that. But I also know, since I'm doing weekly service on the bank, I won't have to worry about, have you seen some of those videos where I've got 2 feet tall Bahia and my mower's got to go over it twice? I won't have to worry about that because this will be a weekly account. So mowing is pretty much taken care of, but that leaves edging, string trimming, blowing. Now blowing, in this proposal, they aren't asking for the property to be blown off every week. So I threw in there that I'd blow off the walkway, from when you park to the curb that you walk to get to the bank entrance, because obviously you don't want leaves or anything on that. So that's not going to take too long. String trimming and edging. Edging is going to be the big one. String trimming will be a big one. So I'm sitting here. How do I figure this out? How do I know how long it's going to take? Well, I really won't. But what I'm going to go do today is just go up there and walk around. I'm going to walk all the places that need to be edged at about the rate that I would edge them. Walk around the places that need to be string trimmed about the speed I would string trim, and time it and see how long it takes. And then from that number I can say, okay, now these components will take this long. And multiply the time by, whatever I'm trying to get. That's how I'll come up with the bid. Now, that may be overly simplistic, and I may be missing something, but where I'm at right now, that's the best I can come up with, right? So I'll take you along for that, and we're going to do that now. That railroad is horrible. One of the ties is like completely rotted away. So, and I always forget, it's like this huge, feel like you're gonna shake your teeth out of your head. What was I even saying? Oh, so today is Sunday. I have to submit the bid tomorrow, Monday. This video is going to be uploaded Thursday, so hopefully I'll have some kind of update to put in the end of the video as to whether I did or didn't get it, or if I've even heard anything yet. So I don't know how long it takes them to make a decision. So let's see what else. But if you've got any questions about bidding commercially, like I said, I'm not an expert. This is my first one. But if you've got any questions about how I would handle something, go ahead and ask them. I'll give you my advice. It's not going to be good advice. Well, it may be good advice. I don't know if it's good advice because I don't really have a ton of experience. I would hope it's good advice, but don't really know. The van parked about where I think I would have it for doing the maintenance, and we're just going to imagine that I picked up my edger and we are going to go walk. The reason I'm doing this is because I want to include the amount of time it's going to take me to get my tool and then walk to wherever the best place to start is. So now we're back at the trailer, and we're going to swap out our tools. 8 minutes, 30 seconds. All right, so now we're going to pretend we've got our string trimmer. String trimmer for our blower. We're going to see about blowing off. Alright, so our little experiment's done. I'm glad I did it because now I've got some real world data. I mean, it's not 100% accurate, but it's a lot more accurate than me just guessing, right? So now at this point, well, I've still got the 2 yards to do, but once I get home, I can figure out how uncertain am I about each one of these times. Am I 20% uncertain, 40% uncertain, and I can add that in as a buffer. So like I said, blowing took 2.5 minutes. How certain am I that that's going to happen all the time? I don't know. 50%? So maybe that'll go up to 4 or 5 minutes. How much longer do I think that string trimming will take? 20 or 40% maybe. So instead of 20 minutes, maybe it gets bumped up to 30 or 35 or 40. Actually, that'd be more like 100%, wouldn't it? But you get the idea. So, I've got a spreadsheet at home that I'll go ahead and enter. You don't want to see that, do you? No, you wouldn't have any interest in taking it. Wait, what is that? You do want to see it? Are you sure? Well, if you want to. You okay, buddy? You okay? That yard takes me 30 minutes to do. You know, if I don't catch the homeowner, I don't do anything stupid like miss a spot or, you know, best case scenario, it's half an hour. It took me 43 minutes. First of all, there's that little dove you saw. I don't know what was wrong with him, if he ran into a window, but as I was coming up on the mower, his mom or his buddy or somebody flew away, and that caught my attention. And he was just standing there in the corner with the mower going. I was maybe like 5 feet away from him. So I'm glad I saw him. But then 10 minutes later, you know, I came back with the weed eater, and he was still there. So I don't know if he was dazed or if he was so young that he couldn't fly and fell. I don't know. There weren't really any trees nearby. Anyways, I just left that area alone. I got as close as I could, but I didn't want to mess him up or anything. Or if it was, if that was his mom, I didn't want to get so close that she got freaked out and left him there. So that sucked up some time. Then I had a neighbor, 2 doors down. They wanted a quote for their property, so I talked to them for about maybe 5 minutes and said, you know, this is what it generally is. Yours looks a little overgrown. If it's okay, let me get your email. I'll walk around when I'm done and then send you a quote. So that took about 5 minutes. And then I was having trouble starting my, you know, I've got a power head with attachments. I don't have a separate edge or a separate string trimmer. And I guess because it's so hot today, I was having some trouble restarting it from string trimmer to edger. And at some point, I scraped my my knuckle somehow, sliced it. It's not bad, but you know, anything like on your face or your knuckles, it bleeds real bad, even if it's a little scratches because everything's so thin there. But I didn't realize that until I was almost done edging, and my hand was, my fingers were covered in blood. I was like, what is going on? Again, it's not a bad cut. It just bled a lot. So then I had to spend 5 minutes cleaning that up. I have a first aid kit, so I washed it with some water, wiped it with an antiseptic, and then I had a knuckle bandage that I put on. It was just like one thing after another. I couldn't get done with the yard. Have you guys ever had a yard or a day like that where it just was like, man, no matter what I do, I can't get out of here? And it's probably like 90 something degrees, so it's hot too. It's not a comfortable day to be out mowing. Anyways, we're on to the next one, and then we'll get to that spreadsheet, I promise.
So here's our spreadsheet, nothing fancy. You can do this in Microsoft Office or Google Sheets if you don't have the Office suite. You can take a couple seconds to pause it and look over it if you'd like, but I'm going to explain everything. First, we have our headings for the activities that I'll be doing on this commercial property. Mowing, string trimming, blowing off a walkway, edging the curb, walking to and from certain things, picking up trash, and a monthly check of the irrigation system. From there, we'll come over to hours per occurrence. So every time this activity occurs, how many hours is it going to take? Occurrences, how many times will this occur during the year? And total time, which is going to be a function of your hours per occurrence multiplied by the number of occurrences. Down here on this dark green box, we've got cumulative time. This is just an addition of all the total time, so basically all the time spent on this property. Our desired hourly rate, obviously this is going to vary for each person, each company. This isn't what I use. I use a different number, but I put 40 in there as an example. That's from what I can gather from a couple of the YouTube sources I've looked at. If you're a solo operator, you have to at least bill yourself out at $40 an hour. That's kind of the minimum that's recommended for building your business at any sort of profitability and scalability in the future. Annual maintenance amount, this is just the cumulative time multiplied by your desired hourly rate, and that is what your commercial bid to the company would be. If you wanted to bump it up to $5,000 to make it a nice round number, you get an extra $60. So then when we come back up and take a look at the math on this, if we take mowing for an example, I estimated 1.3 hours of mowing per visit per occurrence, and because of the growing season we have here in North Florida, I estimated 39 weekly visits. Just a guess based on some of the University of Florida data on when certain grasses grow. It's about from March to November, the numbers I use. So we've got 39 occurrences. If we take 1.3 hours and multiply them by 39 occurrences, then we come up with 50.7 hours for mowing for the entire year. So string trimming is actually about 40 minutes. That's why you get, and 40 minutes is what? 2/3 of 60, right? So that's why you get that 0.666. So about 40 minutes for string trimming, or 0.6 hours. Again, that would be something that would need to be done during the growing season. So 39 visits there, 39 occurrences, comes out to right under 26 hours of string trimming for the year. Going to blowing, I believe that's about 5 minutes. I think when I walked it, it was more like 2 or 3, but I said 5 just to give me some wiggle room. Now occurrences for that one, you can still have stuff, trash, debris, dirt, mulch, whatever, get on the sidewalk all through the year. So that's why that occurrence is 52 times. That'll need to be done every year. Or excuse me, that will need to be done every week during the year. So that's about 4.3 hours. Same with edging. We've got 0.25 hours, so that's what, 15 minutes? About 15 minutes of edging. 39 occurrences, 9.75 hours. Walking around, I just estimated 5 minutes of random walking. Maybe I forgot to do something. Maybe I, ran out of string and had to walk back, whatever. 5 minutes every week of just walking around. That's about 4.5 hours of walking. Trash pickup, I believe that's about 5 minutes. 5 minutes that I budgeted for that. There's a pretty big ditch that spans that property, and that might have some stuff that needed to get cleaned out. And again, that's something that's done every week. So about 4.5 hours for that. And then lastly, a monthly irrigation check. So that's why there's 12 occurrences. It's going to happen every month. And, you know, it's a pretty large property, at least in my opinion, with a lot of heads, a lot of zones. So I want to leave myself time both for on the property, making sure I can check every head, the spray pattern, make sure nothing got knocked out of alignment, you know, nothing got pushed out of whack. And then I also need to prepare a report for that monthly irrigation check. So that 2 hours isn't just 2 hours on site, it's also the paperwork on the computer that, you know, comes after the follow-up. So that's 24 hours over the course of the year. And that's a spreadsheet. It was simple as that. I say it was simple. It took a lot of time to figure out my times, but, you know, once I felt comfortable with the data, I then in turn felt comfortable about my price. And so as of right now, it's 8 o'clock on Thursday, the 24th of August, 8 o'clock in the evening. Haven't heard back from them, and I submitted this to them Monday, so don't know if that's good or bad. Maybe some of you folks who have dealt with commercial before can tell me how long it's taken you to get either a yay or a nay after they've requested a bid. But that's the spreadsheet, and that's how I bid that commercial property. If you've got any questions, please let me know. Any comments, as always, leave them down below. Thank you so much for watching. Hope this helped out.